وادعوه بها وذروا الذين يلحدون في أسمائه سيجزون ما كانوا يعملون.
And let's move on, inshallah, to the next name, As-Samad, the self-sufficient. Before we actually do that, a few other points I want to mention. Obviously, if we know that Allah is al-Wahid and this negates there being any form of similarity between Allah and creation. That's an important point. The fact that He deserves to be worshipped. There is a negation of any form of takyif, or ascribing mannerisms to the attributes of Allah. We negate any form of imperfections, as we mentioned. And finally, as a beautiful hadith, we know that Aisha radiallahu anha reported that there was one companion that when he went on a sariyah, like a military expedition, he would lead the companions in prayer. But every time he recited the Fatiha and Surah, he would finish that with Qul huwa Allahu ahad. So he did that in every rak'ah. Qul huwa Allahu ahad. So companions, they came back and they were kind of like complaining, like, we haven't seen anything like this. And so Rasulullah said, ask him, for what reason does he do that? And he said, I love reciting the surah. I love reciting the surah. أَخْبِرُوهُ أَنَّ اللَّهَ يُحِبُّهُ. Rasulullah said, then inform him that Allah truly loves him. Inform him that Allah truly loves him. So, loving this surah is a means by which Allah will love you. So it's the surah that really deserves deep reflection, deep thought, and to realize what impact it has on your hearts. As-Samad, the self-sufficient. He is the one upon whom the whole of creation relies upon in all of their needs, predicaments and necessities. This, I suppose I should read, this is due to His unrestricted perfection with regards to His essence, His names, His attributes and His actions. Say He is Allah the One, Allah the Self-Sufficient, Allah As-Samad. Now, As-Samad is one of those words which have been described in so many different ways. If you look in books of tafsir, when they explain the surah, there are a number of different explanations. But as is the case in many cases, we find that when Mufassirin, they offer different explanations for one word, these meanings, they do not contradict one another in most cases. Okay? They are simply explaining the word from different angles. Okay, so for example, if I was to hold this up, some of you will say that this is what? What is it? A phone. What else can you describe it as? An iPhone. Okay, what else? A gadget, a smartphone, or an iPhone with a brown case. Okay, so you can describe it in different ways. So have they contradicted each other with these descriptions? No. So the same will apply to what we're going to look at. So I'll quickly break down and very quickly mention, running out of time, the different explanations that scholars have given. So the one explanation is As-Samad, linguistically in Arabic language, refers to a leader who's obeyed amongst his people. As-Sayyid al-Muta'. As-Sayyid al-Muta', the one who is obeyed amongst his people. وَالَّذِي كَمُلَتْ سُؤْدَتُهُ, the one whose sovereignty has reached the pinnacle. Also it was said that الَّذِي لَا جَوْفَ لَهُ, the one who has no internal cavity. The one who has no internal cavity. Now you might think, well, that's a massive difference. To describe him as being a Sayyid who is obeyed and someone who has no internal cavity, is there any relationship between the two? Let us move on. Some said he is the one who doesn't eat and drink. The one who doesn't eat and drink. Others describe him as being the one who, and this is the most common explanation that you'll find, الَّذِي يَصْمُدُ إِلَيْهِ يُصْمَدُ إِلَيْهِ فِي الْحَوَائِجِ. And he is the one who people turn to fulfill their needs. But he is the one who does not need anything else. So far we've given how many meanings? It says, As-Sayyid al-Muta', the one who's obeyed, whose sovereignty has reached the pinnacle. Secondly, the one who has no internal cavity, doesn't eat and drink, and the one who people turn to fulfill their needs, whilst he has no needs for anybody else. All of these refer to the one fundamental meaning, which is what? That Allah is in need of no one, but everyone is in need of Allah. Allah is in need of no one, but we are all in need of Allah. Let's show this. So, As-Sayyid al-Muta', the one who is obeyed. The one who is obeyed amongst his people, does he need to go to anybody? Does he need to respond to anybody in the sense that he has someone to answer to? No. People come to him. People come to him for wealth, distribution of wealth, etc. The one who has no internal cavity. Now we have internal cavities, isn't it? We have like the brain, we have the lungs, we have the stomach. And what are the functions of these organs? To help us live, isn't it? Stomach. The stomach needs what? Food. Our lungs, they need air. Okay? We need all. That's why we have these internal cavities, because we are in need of them. So someone who has no internal cavities suggests what? He has no needs. Okay, he has no needs. And likewise, the one who doesn't eat and drink, he has no need to eat and drink because he's in no need of that. So this is the essential meaning of as-samad, the one who is turned to for help and assistance, but he at the same time is in need of nobody or anything. After knowing this, what are the important effects? We know that as a result of that, we should always be turning to Allah. And we should realize the nature of the human being is that he is in a state where he is in need of his Creator. And that we are not independent individuals and human beings that can live our lives based on our own accord. We need Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in our lives. If you think you don't need Allah, you're fooling yourself and you're just destroying yourself spiritually. And even when you think you don't need Allah, in reality Allah is still seeing to all of your needs. Like the kuffar, they say, we don't need God in our lives. We're fine without God in our lives. But God is already in your life. He's providing for you. He's providing for you. He's taking care of you. So you cannot take God out of your life as they think. He's a part of your life whether you recognize it or not. So the heart should therefore realize their state of weakness. When we say Allah is a samad, your heart should recognize that you are faqir ila Allah. Ya ayyuhan nas, O mankind, antum al-fuqara'u ila Allah. You are in a state of poverty to Allah. Wallahu al-ghaniyyul hamid. Okay, so this ends our discussion on as-samad, and I think that we will end on that point for today, inshallah.